Now live from News Channel 3, the desert's news leader. This is a First Alert Weather Alert.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Peter Doubt.
And I'm Karen Devine. This is a special edition of News Channel 3 as we are tracking the impacts of Hilary around the valley.
All right, take a look at this video sent to us by a viewer named Brandon Thompson. I believe this is his backyard, and you could see the pool there just getting pounded by the rain and also the wind right now.
We have live team coverage for you tonight from east to west. Our Marco Revuelta is standing by in Coachella. He has more on evacuation warnings issued today for communities near the Salton Sea.
And our Maren Bouchot is live in Cathedral City. Coverage begins with First Alert meteorologist Kelly Moody. And Kelly, we've certainly seen a lot of this storm in the past few hours. I mean, you've got everything from flooding to the wind. What is on the radar right now?
This has been a rather inclusive storm of just about every element we could consider. And just for reference, we went from extreme heat not too long ago, and what a shift we have had. We're taking a live look outside from our Indian Wells cam where we're starting to see our newest impact that has been spreading across the valley, strong winds. They waited a little bit to arrive. We saw that heavy rain first, but now those gusty winds are starting to move on through in addition to the flooding that is just taking over the entire valley. I want to give us a look at our current wind gusts. Those are currently ranging anywhere from really 35 to 55 miles per hour at peak. A couple spots, give or take a couple numbers there, but generally speaking, we're continuing to watch these strong gusty winds move in from the south. They start to wrap around a little bit up in the high desert, but these gusty conditions are not going anywhere. This is what we're going to be focusing on as we head into the evening hours. I don't expect us to see a lot of relief from these winds until after 11 tonight. Now, there is still the potential for a couple heavy pockets of rain here and there, but it's definitely tapering. A live look currently at our radar. Along with that, you can see the flashing green. Those are aerial flood advisories. Flashing red, accounting for flash flood warnings. We are still under a flash flood warning. This was extended earlier from the National Weather Service, now in place just for another half hour until 7. But if we do see that extension, you'll be the first to know. We'll have it right here on News Channel 3.
Thank you, Kelly. And this video shows water covering the roadways in North Shore. This was sent into the newsroom from 70th Avenue. We know that evacuation warnings have been issued for communities near the Salton Sea. News Channel 3's Marco Revuelta is live right now in Coachella. And Marco, oh boy, you've been out there all afternoon. You've seen it all. What's happening right now?
Yeah, Karen, we've seen rain come and go, and it certainly returned. Those winds have picked up. We're out here in Coachella at the entrance on Highway 111 near Avenue 48. You can see how that rain has impacted this intersection. Clearly a flooding scenario over there. We see a car stranded. We do believe there is somebody in there, so we're hoping they get the help they need soon. We've also learned of several power outages here in the area. The two nearby businesses have lost power, as well as a fast food restaurant. And also in Coachella, about 80 residents are without power right now. We can clearly see the impacts this storm is having in the East Valley. Now, we were out there driving around talking to families, and at one point the rain made it very difficult to drive. The Coachella Avenue entrance near the wash is closed. We were out in Mecca earlier as well talking to a resident from Salton City. She says she was asked to evacuate due to the high winds and will spend the night in Palm Desert. Here at Avenue 48, families are concerned that water will reach their homes. We spoke to one neighbor, Ana Cortez, who says she didn't think the rain would hit this hard.
We won't be able to get out of the house because it's raining bad. I'm concerned it will get water inside the house.
Once again, we're here live in Coachella near Avenue 48 and Highway 111. Things have certainly switched from how the day started. So we're going to be out here continuing to talk to residents and hoping everyone is safe during this storm. That does it all for me right now. Live in Coachella, Marco Revuelta, News Channel 3.
All right, Marco, thanks. Take a look at this video sent in from downtown Palm Springs of heavy flooding on North Palm Canyon. The city has declared a local emergency due to the flooding and at least one swift water rescue there. Our Maren Bouchot has been in the West Valley all day, and right now she's in Cathedral City. And I know, Marion, we've had several calls from viewers reporting power outages in that city. What are you seeing right now?
So, Peter, we learned within the last half hour that more than 3,000 Cathedral City residents are without power, and that's exactly why we wanted people to prepare, get extra food and water because of those power outages that we were trying to warn all the viewers about. And look, Peter, The last few live hits that I've done with you, I've been telling you the water's been rising and rising. Big update right now is that the water level here off of Dinah Shore near Whispering Palms is actually receding. But here's the thing. Even though the water is receding, you still don't know how deep it is right there where it is really, really still flooded. So definitely, even though the water levels are going down, not a good idea to go through. We did see a car luckily get through right now, but that wasn't the case for this white Mercedes right here. It's been stuck. We did have a tow truck try to get it out earlier, but the water was just so high within the last hour that they were not able to get pulled out. But hey, earlier I did talk to a gentleman from LA who drove all the way out here to do some storm watching, and he is calling this storm beautiful.
I came to Stormwatch. I wanted to see these things full. I think it's stunning and beautiful to see nature in all its fury. You know, as long as nobody gets hurt, it's great.
And look, I hear what he's saying. It's beautiful as long as no one gets hurt, but it does not take away from the fact that we've had several swiftwater rescues because of people ignoring barricades, choosing to be out on these roads right now, even with all of these floodwaters. So please be safe. Don't get on the road right now if you can avoid it. And I'm going to be honest with you all, it is scary for us being out here. We're seeing so many people get stuck, like this car out here. We almost got stuck in some floodwaters earlier. So it is scary, but we are doing our best to be safe out here, give you all the information that you need and be updated. And we want you to stay safe as well. So Peter, Karen, back to you.
And we appreciate you being the eyes and ears out there, and you can show us what's going on and how dangerous it really is. It's good for people at home to know not to get in your cars and go anywhere if you don't have to.
Absolutely.
Our complete coverage of the impacts of Hurricane Hilary continue tonight. We are learning that Palm Springs Unified and Desert Sands have both canceled classes for tomorrow.
And Coachella Valley Unified also is canceling its offices tomorrow, even though their school has not begun yet. Also want to let you know that Mizell Senior Center and also Cathedral City Senior Center both will be closed tomorrow. So a lot of closures tomorrow. Whatever it is, check tomorrow before you show up.
And help us keep the Valley informed by sending your photos and videos to share at KESQ.com. We do appreciate it. You can also find up-to-the-minute developments on flooding, road closures, and evacuation warnings on KESQ.com. You're watching News Channel 3, the Desert's news leader.
A quick update for you. We are reiterating what probably just came flashing across your phone. Our current flash flood warning has now been extended for the valley until 8:30 this evening by the National Weather Service. During this time, it is highly possible that you could be running into flash flooded, rushing water on the roadways. Stay put if you can. We'll continue to monitor conditions here, and we'll have a complete look at your first alert forecast coming up.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. We are getting reports that the entrance to Eisenhower's ER has been flooded. Take a look at this video and this photo. You can see the golf cart there nearly up to the seats in water. The hospital does say now that everyone is safe and the issue has been resolved. No patient care was impacted. Surgeons say that a few ORs are now leaking. Stay with News Channel 3 for any new developments on this. And we are tracking heavy flooding around the desert tonight.
We sure are. Take a look at these videos sent into the newsroom from the Whitewater Wash in La Quinta. We have a list of road closures right now at KESQ.com.
And we just told you about that extension to the flash flood warning until 8:30 this evening. Meanwhile, still working with a tropical storm warning that has no end in sight. The main reason for this, gusty winds that are continuing to pick up across our area. I expect even stronger winds possible over the next couple of hours. We'll time that out with you with a complete look at our future track coming up after the break. You're watching News Channel 3, the Desert's news leader.
Now live from News Channel 3, the Desert's news leader. This is a First Alert Weather Alert.
We are staying on top of the latest developments from around the valley as we are tracking the impacts of Hilary.
Right now we're tracking multiple road closures around the valley due to flooding. And there are too many for you to hear right now, so we're going to post those on KESQ.com.
Some major ones, though, to keep in mind: Highway 111 in Indio, the Dinah Shore Bridge in Cathedral City, and Fred Waring in Palm Desert. So if you can stay off the roads, do so. You can find that list at KESQ.com. Turning right now to the East Valley, News Channel 3's Marco Revuelta is live in Coachella, where an intersection is completely submerged, something we've been seeing all afternoon into the evening. Marco, what's happening right now?
Hey, Karen, that rain continues to hit the city of Coachella hard, rather the entire Coachella Valley here in the East Valley. We're near the entrance on Highway 86 near Avenue 48. As you mentioned, that intersection over there completely flooded. We've seen that car stranded there for more like an hour. You know, a lot of cars have been stopping by trying to see if they need any help. So hopefully someone is on the way to help them. We've also learned the nearby businesses here in Coachella, the ones we're at near Highway 48 and Avenue Dillon, have lost power. You know, they're not the only ones losing power. We've also heard that 80 residents in Mecca are without power this evening. Those winds have picked up. We do feel them a little bit stronger. The rain comes and goes, and it's staying right here for the meanwhile. Karen, I'll send it back to you.
All right, I'll take it from here, Marco. Thanks. Turning now to our Marion Bouchot, who is live in Cathedral City tonight. Marion, how are things right now where you're at?
So Peter, the water levels just keep going down over here near the Dinah Shore Bridge. So I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a good idea of what we're looking at here. So about 15 minutes ago when we last talked, the water was definitely much higher. And now you can almost see nearly the entire road right before you hit the Dinah Shore Bridge. Doesn't change the fact that there is still a road closure in place. There is still a lot of wind. It's still slightly sprinkling over here, but the rain is mostly stopped for right now. But the winds are definitely picking up, and we've been having to dodge debris left and right. I did talk to some residents earlier, and they did say that this storm is definitely worse than what they expected, but they did do their best to prepare. And hopefully you did your best to prepare at home, especially if you are one of the 3,000 Cathedral City residents in an outage that they are. If you're live streaming this right now on your phone, please stay safe and rely on our notifications, rely on that extra food and water that you hopefully had, all those preparations that are paying off right now. And we're going to do our best to stay safe and get out of the winds here in the rain. Peter, Karen.
Thank you, Marion. We are so grateful for the efforts our crews are putting in today, helping to keep you safe at home and hopefully indoors. They're doing the job that none of us want, so that way we can stay safe inside. I wanted to bring us back to our El Paseo cam, where keep a close eye on those palm trees. I mean, they are just getting whipped around, a little bit of a kink in those necks. You can also take a look at this nice little traffic pole here that we've been watching getting shaken as well. And there's plenty of bark on the roadways. I mean, really, the valley's underwater. This looks like a scene out of a movie. And we are not done yet. We will continue to see flooding and we are certainly making that transition into a whole lot of wind. Current look at your wind gusts. We are still seeing wind gusts upwards of 55 miles per hour for the Cathedral City area, and in other spots ranging between 25 and 35 mile per hour gusts with a couple of hot spots. You can see Mecca close to 50 mile per hour gusts moving on through. We're starting to watch some of this get pushed up toward the high desert. That is how things are expected to progress. So by the time we make it around 9 o'clock, we'll continue with that effort to push some of that wind to the north of us, but still feeling plenty of it all around town. As we get into the later evening hours, I think it's going to be after 11 o'clock that things will finally start to get a bit quieter. As we move toward the morning hours, should not be any wind that we have to be concerned with. At that point, it will be the cleanup process from all the flooding that we will likely still be seeing happening because of the runoff from our mountains. We've been assessing this throughout the day, so here's the latest on our severe weather threats and their impacts here. I still expect there to be a high impact from winds continuing through the evening. It's a pretty low impact at this point in terms of the potential for a tornado to spin up, but of course something we're still monitoring, especially if we see a severe storm cell start to come closer to home. Same goes for heavy rain. At this point, things are starting to taper back, but I am monitoring a couple cells that could be moving our direction over the next 3 hours. Flooding, though, that's going to be the extreme concern. Now, we brought this to you live as it was happening. In fact, I was messaging with National Weather Service saying, hey, I'm live on air. I need an update so I can let everyone know at home what we're doing with this flash flood warning. It did get extended until 8:30 this evening. You likely got that alert on your phone. So we will continue to see that high potential for flash flooding. And here's why. Take a look down to the south at some of these storm cells. They're starting to pick up a little bit of energy. This is something we're all watching among meteorologists as we head into these later evening hours. A couple of these could easily bring some of that heavy rain back into the valley that we've been watching taper, and the potential for something more severe to develop. So this is why we're seeing that extension to that flash flood warning in addition to the flooding that we're already seeing across the valley. So that's something we will continue to monitor. I just updated these. We are officially getting closer and closer to 9.5 inches of overall rainfall accumulation at Mount San Jacinto, over 3.5 inches in Palm Desert, just close to 3 inches in Thousand Palms, close to it as well for Palm Springs, and over 2.5 inches, or rather close to 2.5 inches in Yucca Valley. A lot of rain on the ground, a lot of flooding that we will continue to see. It almost feels pointless to show you our complete First Alert Comfort Air 7-day forecast because there's so much focus on what's happening right now. But I guess it can give us some hope. We know those triple digits will be back before we know it. Drier conditions are on the way, but in the meantime, we will still be working with flooding through Monday. If we need to extend that first alert, weather alert, we certainly will as we look ahead toward the coming days, depending on the impacts that we're seeing from flooding. But we know that drier days are certainly coming our way. It's just not going to be anytime too soon.
That's why it's important to be very careful, especially if you need to go outside or go somewhere. Staying off the road is really important, especially tonight. There is debris. Even though you saw the water receding a bit in certain areas, there is still flooding, more rain to come.
Yes.
And you just need to take it easy out there on the road.
Yeah, that danger still exists. And again, if you can stay off the roads, definitely do that tonight. Take a look at some of the video that was sent into the newsroom from a viewer in Thousand Palms. This is another reminder why you should stay off the roads. There's a pickup there nearly covered in water.
And this is a live look at the Dune Palms Bridge project in La Quinta right now. Send your photos and videos to share at KESQ.com. Help us keep the valley informed. You're watching the Desert's News Leader. Residents in Desert Hot Springs are calling on the city to fix the infrastructure of their streets and drain systems. Like many cities in the valley, you can see rushing water is moving down various streets in DHS. One resident we spoke to said that he has been putting up sandbags all weekend to protect his home.
I'm scared because the water can go inside my house and damage everything, and I don't know how would I do it if that would happen. This storm is one of the I already lived before. Like every year, this kind of rain hits on this street, and as you can see right there, there is a lake right there.
Well, it's a mess all around the valley, and this is what he sees outside his door, though. Pedestrians are unable to cross the street without being knee-deep in floodwaters or being splashed by cars. So if you're looking to get out of the rain, you can dry off at Mi Ranchito in Desert Hot Springs. The business says that they will be open until 9 o'clock tonight for people who just need to dry off.
And we are tracking power outages in at least Mecca, Indio, and Cathedral City. And if you lose power, you could stream our new newscast online at KESQ.com.
And Kelly, what are you tracking for the rest of the evening?
It will be more and more strong winds, and that increases our potential for more widespread power outages. So this is something that you need to be prepared for imminently. I don't have a warning for that. I can only tell you that as these winds continue to be strong, that increases the likelihood that we could see a down power line, and that could be impacting you at home. Right now, we've got a little bit of lighter wind coming through the East Valley, but still gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour. We're seeing some stronger winds out toward Palm Springs and Cathedral City. Some of that is starting to shift up toward the high desert and right along the Little San Bernardinos, but more wind will be with us over the next couple of hours. Quick look again at that flash flood warning now extended through 8:30 this evening. I want to show you why. While we're already working with plenty of that flooding all across town and the runoff from our mountains, I mean, look at that right there. You can see all the rain that our mountains are getting that eventually ends up down here, but we're also seeing some stronger outer bands of Hilary that are picking up some momentum. In fact, I can already tell you from the last time we looked at this just moments ago, some of these cells are getting stronger. And as they continue on their northwestern trajectory, we could be seeing impacts of that could be severe and could mean more pockets of heavy rain. So try and enjoy the little break in the rain for now. Of course, it's plenty gusty out there. More rain could be coming our way. So we'll continue to track those conditions for you both on air and online.
All right, thanks, Kelly.
All right, and that's all for this edition of News Channel 3. A reminder, PSUSD and DSUSD have canceled classes for tomorrow. Coachella Valley Unified hasn't started school yet, but they have closed their offices for tomorrow.
Help us keep the Valley informed by sending your videos and photos to share@kesq.com.
News Channel 3 is now available on any of these streaming services and on KESQ.com.